Yeah, I thought it was gold, apparently. Ready to go? Okay. Which, you want to present, or you want to go first? Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We're here today to introduce our new head basketball coach, Josh Passner. Sorry. And without further ado, we'll get started with our Director of Athletics, Mike Babinski.
Thanks, Moose. Likewise, want to welcome everybody here today. Thanks for being here today. It's a great day for Georgia Tech basketball. I'm thrilled to be not standing but sitting here. Been an exhausting couple of weeks, but landed in a really good place, and just it's exciting to be here. Just to talk a little bit about how we landed here. So we conducted a search that I believe, to my eyes, was extremely thorough. Was definitely interesting along the way. There's no doubt about that. And most importantly, it was affirming of the opportunity that we have here at Georgia Tech with our basketball program. Without exception, the coaches that I was able to speak to throughout this period believed completely that we have a tremendous opportunity to build a championship program here at Georgia Tech. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy or that it'll be immediate, but that we have, as I've believed all along, the elements in place to do that and do it at a very high level, as long as we have our act together and we work at a consistently high level day in and day out. You know, as the process began, there were certain qualities and characteristics that to me were non-negotiables, things that we had to find in our next head coach. And first and foremost, that was integrity. We were replacing a coach in Brian Gregory who possessed the highest level of integrity, and that was something that we weren't going to slip on. And I made that promise to our players when I met with them and to our entire community, and so that's something that was an absolute for us. both from a personal behavior, personal demeanor perspective, and also from a player relationship perspective. So integrity was first and foremost a very important thing. An understanding of and an appreciation for Georgia Tech, who we are as an institute, our academic mission, our academic strength, the expectations that come along with being at Georgia Tech, that was extremely important to me. Having great energy. I mean, this is not a job for the faint of heart. It's just at any place, is it? But it needs great energy, someone that's really willing to bring it every day, all day. Intelligence, just being sharp, being smart, doing things in a way that gives us an opportunity to have an advantage and an edge. Also, an ability to evaluate and attract high-level talent. That's how we get things done. You know, we've got some great guys in our locker room right now. We need more as time goes by. There's no question about that. Hey there. As we worked through things, it became apparent, though, that there were some other things that we also needed. We needed a toughness. I mean, again, as I said before, this is not for the faint of heart. This is an opportunity and a challenge that's real, and we need somebody that is up to that and unafraid of the challenge. Persistence, an ability to stick with it. You know, not every day is going to be a great day. Not every game is going to be a win. But being persistent, being able to see it through and stick with it in a positive way is really important. And then finally, a true desire to be here at Georgia Tech. Not to be a coach anywhere, but to be here at Georgia Tech in our environment and build something special and truly successful here at our place. At the end of the day, several excellent candidates emerged that fit those characteristics. At the end, but once we worked through it, the individual that best embodied that and best fit our current circumstances to take on the challenge of moving GT basketball to higher levels of success was Josh Pastner. A couple of observations about Josh that I'd like to share, how I got there and how I see him as we move forward. First of all, and you'll learn more about this in the next few minutes, I'm sure, and in the days ahead, he has got a really unique and interesting background, long background in the game of basketball. Although he's a relatively young man still, he was introduced to the sport at a very early age, was involved in the sport at a very early age, was evaluating players at the age of 13. So while it's only 38 years long at this point, he's been evaluating guys for a long time. So it's a very, very unique story, and again, sort of a basketball's in his DNA in a big way. He's also a really driven, intense competitor, but one who cares about his players and works tirelessly to develop them as young men. There are clear examples of that through his time at Memphis, and even as an assistant in Arizona, where he has had a great impact on the players that have played for him and with him, and that's something that stuck out to me. The culture that he created at Memphis, which dovetails very closely with what we have here at Georgia Tech today, a culture of accountability, where there are expectations for our guys as to how they carry themselves, how they perform academically, how they conduct themselves every time they represent our program. All of that was very, very positive. Also, a really visible and involved member of the community. As I spoke to people in and around Memphis, they said you will not find somebody that's as involved, as visible, as accessible. In fact, they said it's like there's three of them. He's literally everywhere, and again, that speaks to his energy and the ability to just get after it all day, every day. But my personal favorite, the thing that I like probably the most, is that he's been around and been a part of a lot of success. I have always believed that success is a habit that that's hard to break. And you know, he's been around Division I basketball now for 20 years. Began in 1996 as a player at Arizona, and in those 20 years, he's been in the postseason 18 times, 17 times in the NCAA tournament in 20 years. Clearly knows what postseason success looks like, feels like, and what it takes to achieve that. That, to me, is a very, very important and attractive quality. As a head coach, he's got a winning percentage just under 700, 696, pretty strong. 5 out of 7 years in the postseason. First year as a transition year when he took over, I think he had 4 scholarship players returning, took the team to the NIT, and then went 4 consecutive years to the NCAA tournament. 3 top 10 recruiting classes in his time as a head coach. Recruited 4 McDonald's All-Americans, so obviously able to get big-time players. Tied for 10th on the all-time coaching list for most wins with Tom Izzo in the first 7 years of a coaching career. So some very, very high levels of accomplishment and some things that really stood out to me as we went through this. And it became clear to me that no one is better equipped to lead Georgia Tech basketball to success in the days and years ahead than Josh Pastner. So at this point, it is my great pleasure to welcome and introduce Georgia Tech's new head basketball coach, Josh Pastner, and also welcome his beautiful family who's here with us today, his wife Carrie, daughters Peyton, hey Peyton, Cameron, and Harper, who is somewhere else right now, and son Ethan could not join us today. He's actually taking the ACT tomorrow. So first of all, welcome Josh, welcome to you and your family to the Georgia Tech community. We're thrilled to have you, and good luck.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. First of all, Mike, thank you for for the opportunity. Very privileged and honored to be able to sit here before everybody here to be the coach of Georgia Tech. A couple things. One, I fully understand the chair that I'm going to be sitting in and what it means not only to this community but to the entire city and obviously to all the alumni. Not only locally but nationally, so I get it. And I just want to say a few things just about on the past. I thought Coach Gregory and his staff had done a great job. When you talk about the culture that is set forth here for the guys returning and moving forward, they did an excellent job. So Coach Gregory and his staff deserves a lot of credit for that. You look at the success that Coach Hewitt had here when he took the team to the Final Four. I mean, they had some great players. I mean, the guys still playing in the NBA, and obviously Coach Kremens. And I've talked to all three coaches today and had great conversations with all three. What attracted me to this job, and I really believe this, when you're in coaching, you want to have an opportunity to win a national championship. You want to be able to compete at the highest level. You want to have a championship program year in, year out. And I truly believe Georgia Tech, the job here, is a true gold mine. You have an opportunity to have the highest level of success that you strive for. And that is what excited me and makes me so enthused about this job. Look, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. There's going to be, we're going to have patience. We're not going to build it and have a magical wand and have a quick fix. It's going to take time, but we're going to do it the right way with no shortcuts. We're going to recruit like crazy. We obviously want to target the right Georgia Tech student athlete. That's a high level player, and that's also a great student and fits in what we're looking for. And that starts locally, not only locally, but also within the state, and then regionally, and then move out to nationally. Georgia Tech is a national brand, but we obviously want to protect home base, and we've got to do a great job on that. That doesn't mean every prospect here in the locale is going to be the right fit for Georgia Tech, and we might not be the right fit for them. But when we find the right fit, we want to target it and make sure we try to build a wall and a fence around that and keep them here. We also, though, we want to recruit nationally. I believe Georgia Tech's name, their academic, Georgia Tech's academic reputation, all the different things that go with it, the great stuff that you can sell with the city. We should be selling not only, to the local prospects, but also to the national prospects. I just met with the team a little bit ago. We got a great group of young men that's returning. We obviously lost a lot of scoring and rebounding and a lot of stats, so we're going to be starting from for a lot of guys to get some of their most minutes will be this upcoming season. So we're all kind of in this together and starting new together. It's sort of a brand new team next season. Basically, it's a new transition. It's part of the new journey of building to that point of a championship level program where you're competing constantly to put yourself in a position to be in the NC2A tournament year in, year out. And then from there, obviously, if you can get to that second weekend, anything can happen. And as you've seen here with Coach Kremens and Coach Hewitt, you're in the Final Four. So that's our goal. Again, I repeat, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. There's a lot of moving parts with it because you're trying to just get a feel and understand the lay of the land. But I have great respect for this job. I have great respect for the players that are currently here, but also great respect for the players the student athletes that have been here before. The reason Georgia Tech's, the program, the name, what I believe can win a national championship and compete at the highest level and a championship level caliber is because of the former players. It's because of the former student athletes. I mean, you look at the names that have come through here. I mean, it's as high of a level of guys that have come through here as any other program in the country. And that is a huge selling point for us. It's got to be a great selling point. And we've got to get all those former guys back into the mix. That's going to be important too. We've got to really utilize the former guys because I think the best sell Georgia Tech's community. I mean, it's got to be the entire community, whether it's the city of Atlanta, whatever it may be. I mean, it's really the city's team. When you really think about it, it is the city's team. And we've got to all be in it hand in hand, foot in foot together, and trying to get it done with the ultimate goal of making Georgia Tech the best basketball program that it can be. And so those are some things, I think, some great selling points. You know, you obviously got, like we've talked about the recruiting base. You've got the former student athletes that have played here. That is again, it's their program. They put the blood, sweat, and tears to make this program what it is today. And obviously you've got, I think, the best league in the country in the ACC, which I don't think you can put enough stock in. I mean, when you're talking about an opportunity to sell not only of the opponent that you're playing, but the TV package, and then if we can get the thing going and playing at a tempo and a speed that I think recruits want to play at and play in, and fans want to come see and enjoy, you can really start packing this place out every single night. And that's something that we want to build to. So those are all some little things just from my standpoint. Just another thing on Mike, what he had mentioned about accessibility. Look, I'm an energy guy. I believe in positive energy. I believe in accessibility. I've said this is not my program. I think it's important for media access that you know, you can reach to me. I want to be out in the community as much as possible, and especially through the media. I think as much as I can get involved in the via the media, to be out there to start telling our product, selling our vision, so people understand that, I think that's critical. And so I'm going to be accessible. I'm going to, you know, try to do as much as I can in the short term to do what I need to do. Obviously, the first and foremost responsibility is our current players, recruiting, and making sure that we reach to all former guys, as many as we can, to make sure they know that this is their program and we need them here to help us continue to build this to get us back where we want to get to. So those are just a couple things there. I'm really, really excited. As Mike mentioned, I got my wife, my 3 daughters. My dad's here as well too, and who's part of our family's there. My dad, I got a little daughter there, and my son's at home. My wife tells me that stay away from me because she doesn't want any more kids. So I like to have a couple more, but she says no. So, but I'm trying to get a team, so we're almost there. So I'm really, really excited. I'm totally enthused. Like I said, I think this is a gold mine, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. We're going to take time, but we're going to build a championship program that the community, that Georgia Tech, alumni, students, faculty, whoever it may be, the city of Atlanta can be very proud of their program. And so I caution patience, because it's going to take multiple recruiting classes. It's not going to just happen overnight. It's going to take multiple recruiting classes. But we're going to get there, and we're going to build it the right way with the vision of being a championship-level program. And that's knocking on the door every year into that NC2A tournament, getting in there, competing, you know, for championships, both in the regular season and the postseason. But more importantly, you get into that tournament, and as everyone here knows, you get to that second weekend, anything can happen. As you've seen it here with Coach Kremens, obviously, with the great run that he had, and obviously Coach Hewitt with the run that he had as well, too.
Let's open it up for questions from you guys.
Josh, with the evaluation period starting, do you have an idea of who you want to put together for your assistant coaches to get on the road?
You know what? One thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to rush in any hires. I think it's so that I make the right hires. I'm going to work in partnership with Mike, and let me just tell you this on Mike. I've had more people call me and tell me you're working for one of the best, if not the best, athletic directors in the country. And I'm not just saying that because he's sitting next to me and is my boss, but people have said that. So I'm going to work in close. Many people have said that. So I'm going to work in close partnership with him.
It cost me a lot of money to get that done, too.
I'm going to work in close partnership with him, going through our staff. I'm going to really fine comb everything and look through everything and have every I dotted, every T crossed. I recognize that I could be by myself for a short period of time, but I'd rather have that than just rushing into something. And I've learned that hiring is an art, hiring is a process. The last thing you can do is rush into it. And so that's what I want to do is take my time. And if I'm by myself for a little bit, it is what it is, and we'll just deal with it. And I'll do the best I can until we get some guys in here.
Ooh, Chris, that's a great question. The last couple weeks have been a little bit of a blur. I would tell you that I know Josh is one of the very first people when the job became available that expressed interest in having a conversation. You know, we worked through it pretty systematically. There were a lot of logistics involved, getting to places, and me being where the coaches were. I think the actual first time we spoke, though, just to be completely straight about it, was in Houston.
Yep.
Face-to-face in Houston over Final Four weekend. And then we sort of stayed through it, stayed with it through then, and it got much more serious in the last couple of days, and here we sit today.
And I also want to say that, you know, I've recruited a lot here, and the grassroots basketball in this city, the grassroots basketball is as good as any grassroots basketball there is in the country. I'll put Atlanta and the surrounding area up against New York, Chicago, L.A., Houston, Dallas, and all those places. They got great hoops, but there's nothing like Atlanta and the surrounding areas. And that's a credit. That's a credit. The reason part of the basketball is so good here, it's a credit to the grassroots coaches, both the high school coaches and the AAU coaches, the guys who are working guys out. All those things go hand in hand. And part of the reason I don't think, you know, the coaches get enough credit here in the grassroots area for the job that they do to make Atlanta and the surrounding areas, I think, the hotbed of all talent in the entire country. And so I recognize that, and I'm excited to make sure we welcome all those coaches. This is your program too. This is your program as well. This is not my program. This is your program. We're all in this together, and that's an important part in the grassroots area for us. And we have great respect. I have great respect at the highest level for grassroots basketball here.
I imagine one of your other chores, too, will be reaching out to the 3 signees.
Yep, I'm gonna. You know, I just got cleared to be able to do that compliance-wise, just to go shift from Memphis to Georgia Tech, and just so everyone knows, because, you know, talking to the president and obviously Mike, and I know what the importance of the alumni about compliance, and we're going to do everything, you know, the right way, and make sure that we instill at all times, as Coach Gregory has done, obviously, and just continue to move that forward, an atmosphere of compliance. So we're going to continue to do what Coach Gregory has done with that. He's done a great job. But yeah, I'm going to reach out to the 3 signees. I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of numbers returning, so we need to fill out a roster, and we need all 3 guys to come here. And you know, we'll see. Will I continue to sign anyone in the 16 class? I don't want to sign someone if he can't help us win. One is whether we can't help us win academically and as a player. It's got to be a 2-part thing. So it's going to be see who's available and who's good enough, who can handle the academics, and then we'll go from there. So we do need the 3 signees to show up just to kind of round up our team. And if they don't, if a guy doesn't show up, we'll make it work. We'll see what's out there. But I'm committed, and Mike's committed. We talked about this, to building, that there are no quick fixes. So it's going to be a patience. It's going to take time. We might have to take a step back to go 2 steps forward. That's the reality of it, to get us to where we want to get to, have a championship-level program where we're knocking on the door of those championships, whether it's regular season, conference, NC2A, and making runs, it's just going to take some time, and so it's just going to be a process. But we're going to get there, and I can't express enough about this place being a gold mine of a job, and excited to get to work.
Josh, in terms of the ACC aspect of it, it's a tough league, but the sort of more traditional power, those coaches are getting older and closer to retirement. It seems like you're kind of right on the cusp of a transition in terms of the program. Is that something that attracted you?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously there's 4 Hall of Famers in the league, and who knows, they could go another 10 years, but they could go another 2 years, 1 year, 5 years. Nobody really knows, but they do. And when they decide to obviously retire, I mean, their program's not going to just fall off the map. They're still going to have these successful programs. The way I looked at it is I looked at the challenge of selling and the vision of being able to compete at the very highest level. I mean, if you're a competitor, you're a high-level guy, you want to compete against the very best. Why wouldn't you? And to have that opportunity to compete at the highest level against the best competition in the best league with the best TV package, I don't see why prospects wouldn't want to do that. And Georgia Tech gives that prospect that option. And I think for prospects to be able to see that they've got a chance to put a stamp, to come in, to help build, to get the program back where they want it to be at that highest level, knocking on the door, that championship level program, it gives us an opportunity to do that. And obviously we have, opportunities to be taken for that. So I just think overall the whole part of the job, there's many things that were attractive, and that included the academic piece. I think the academic piece was a strong part of it as well too. It's a great sell and a great vision that you can sell to prospects. Let me tell you this. I love my time at Memphis, 7 years. We won a lot of games. I followed Coach Calipari, and I was on his staff for a year, and following him, he had the greatest run in the history of college basketball in terms of most wins. And when I got the job, I was 31. So I was able to be at that level probably in one of the most intense jobs, if not the most intense job and intense situation there is. And I grew. I continued to get better as a coach. And so, I loved my time. I had a great experience there, and really looking forward now taking what I learned from there and some of the different things from just my build of philosophies from my time at Memphis, moving into here at Georgia Tech, and going here with it.
In terms of roster building stuff, obviously basketball is very transitional in terms of guys leaving and transferring and stuff. That's something you have a battle with a lot of Memphis. Do you feel like the academic structure at Georgia Tech maybe will help keep that from being such an issue from year to year where you have constant roster turnover?
Yeah, look, college basketball last year was almost, it was over 700 transfers. I mean, they're talking about this year possibly being close to 900. I just think it's an evolution of the college basketball. And, sometimes now in this day and age, a young man might, feel he's not playing enough and wants to leave or whatever it may be. So I think the academic piece for this school, for the guys that are the student athlete that's committed to come here, they're committed to come not just for the basketball part, because that's obviously a big part, but they're committed because of the academic piece as well too. And so I think it's a a two-pronged thing there, and again, that excites me. That's another, like I said before, an attractive part of the job. Yeah, part of it in Memphis, like I said, is it's a very intense job, and I was a guy that understood it. I understood who I was following, and like I said, we averaged 24, 25 wins a year, but when you're following a guy that was averaging in the last 4 years 30 some odd wins a year, heck, we had 1 year where we had 18 straight wins. Most places you build a statue, but when the guy before you had 27 straight wins, you're like, whoa, So I understood it. Unfortunately we had an injury or two and that hurt us, a late transfer. Otherwise, we probably would have been in the NCAA tournament back-to-back years from the last 2 years. So, I just, regardless of the situation at Memphis, because I loved my time there and I loved the people there, I just felt that the Georgia Tech job, the ability to have compete at the very, very highest level at both in the league, but also for the program. And I love the fact that you're building something. I love the fact that you're going to have to build it from the bottom, moving on up. That it's no quick fix. But I love the fact that in time you have a chance to, like I said, have a championship level program, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're striving for and competing for. So the build part of it was probably one of the most exciting things and made me most enthused about the job. Yeah, well, listen, Coach. Coach Gregory's one of the the best basketball minds in the game, and he's a very good coach. And I know they were very well prepared and well coached, and I know that. But obviously each coach has his own style, and so what I need to do is know our guys returning. I got to know them and put them in positions to succeed. That's first and foremost, to give them a chance to succeed. My vision of how I want to play. I've been around Lute Olson, who we try to lead the country in scoring every year and play as fast as possible. Coach Calipari, we try to play as fast as possible, lead the country in scoring. When I was at Memphis, we try to play as fast and as up tempo and have great pace. Now, everyone talks about their offense, or even with our offense, but part of that, all those teams that do that, they share the ball really well. They have great ball movement, player movement, and also they play really good. They play good defense, but they just play hard. And I'm a big 50-50 ball guy. I mean, you got to come up with 50-50 balls, and those are winning plays. And that's part of being a championship level program. That's part of being a championship level team, is making winning plays that don't always show up in the box score. So eventually, I want to play in a style that I want to play with great pace. I want to play with great tempo. I want to have great ball movement and player movement. I think that's really important. The more we share the ball, I call it hot potato. You catch it, you move it, next guy, move it, and you're able to open up abilities to attack. I like to attack, and so that's just my personal philosophy. That's the coaches I've grown up to be around. I think that's really attractive style of play for prospects. Especially here in Atlanta and the surrounding areas. I think kids are going to love playing that type of style. But I do know for next season, I got to do right by the current guys that are returning and put them in positions to succeed. And I'll get to understand that more after talking with Coach Gregory and his staff. But I spent time with Coach Gregory earlier talking to him about it, and then also just my own evaluation of me watching him in workouts and doing individuals with him as well. Well, look, I mean, I don't think this program is about the head coach at all. I think this program is really about the community. I think this program is about the city. I think this program is about the grassroots. I think this program is about that it can be, you're talking about not only the academic side and the athletic side, but just the social side aspect of it. I mean, it's a happening place, and there's a lot to sell. So I think my job is to sell the vision. And as I said, I mean this. This has got to be our program. It's got to be us. We've got to have, the entire community involved in putting Georgia Tech at the level that we all want Georgia Tech basketball to be at, because it's good for everybody if that happens. And it's not going to, and it's not just going to happen overnight. I keep repeating that. It's going to take time. But if that vision is there, and we see that energy, and we just keep fighting through and just having that grind mentality that we're going to get it done, and having that vision in the forefront, I think the possibilities are endless here. I really believe that it can be a championship level program year in, year out. That's what we're striving to get to in time.
Mike, you hear conversation about
Well, I don't know that I can give you a specific timeline. I would say that, no one's throwing in the towel on any game, on any season. I know our current players aren't throwing the towel in. Ben and Q, they're going to want to make the best of next season, every game, every practice, all of that. So it's going to happen as quickly as we can make it happen. But I would tell you that, in a few years and maybe 2 or 3 years from now, I think things will start to look and feel a lot like the way Josh has described it, the type of team that he wants to have, the way he wants to play the game, which I think will be very attractive, very appealing to our fans and to people that want to come play here. So it's, again, it's not a tomorrow thing, but you've got to work every day like tomorrow is the big day. You can't ever give up on what's in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, and just to piggyback on what Mike said about our guys here. I mean, listen, they're the core group, and like I said, the culture is so great that Coach Gregory and his staff had left. That I know these guys are going to fight and scrap and are stepping on the floor to win games every time we step on the floor next season. But moving forward, obviously with the recruiting classes moving forward, we want to get the best talent that we can get that's the right fit for Georgia Tech, both academically and athletically. And you look at what the former players that have been through this program at the level that they've been through here. I mean, you can get those type of guys. I mean, the reason Georgia Tech is is a national name and one of the premier programs is because of the former guys that have put the program where it is today. Through Coach Kremens and obviously Coach Hewitt's group and then Coach Gregory. So that you look at those guys that they've had. And so, are we going to take one and dones? Is it going to be a transfer? I think it's got to be the right, just like I said, we might not be the right fit for every prospect, and the prospect might not be the right fit for Georgia Tech either. So it's got to be in conjunction. And I think what gets a lost art in this day and age in recruiting, I think people get too wrapped up in rankings instead of evaluation. I think evaluating the prospect is so important. And you see it around the country now where you're looking at it on the TV and you're saying, how did they get this kid? This 2-star coming out of high school is better than the 5-star. And what happens is because maybe that guy that program evaluated better. And I think evaluation is going to be a really big key part in our growth as a program and what we want to do in building. And so all that goes hand in hand with what we want to accomplish. I think the facilities are top of the line. I mean, at the obviously as very highest level, as good as it gets. So that's a big sell. And I can't stress enough that the sell with what we have in the grassroots basketball here, and the former players, all the former players. When you walk in that locker room or you walk in the hallway there and you see the pictures of the guys who've played in the NBA, I mean, it's a high level. I mean, it's a high level group that has played in the league. And right now, listen, the city of Atlanta is just it's happening. It's hot. I mean, it's something that I think prospects, and not only locally but nationally, they're going to be attracted to coming here. And so not only the facilities but the academic piece. I think campus is great. I've just seen it for the last day or two, and so it's there's a lot to sell, not just of athletic facilities but the overall campus as well too.
I think it started to come clear to me, Ken, when we had a chance to sit down for a couple hours and talk through that. I mean, that's clearly something that I had to come to grips with and make sure that beyond all that, as I said, one of the things that was key to me was making sure that whoever we hired understood our place and was comfortable with our environment and could operate successfully in it. And Josh articulated that right from the get-go. I mean, he led with that, I think, actually, that, about the character of the guys that he knows are in our program today, and what you can do with guys like that. High-character players can really accomplish a lot because they're capable of so much more. They can think on the move. They can do a lot of different things. And he really expressed a really clear understanding to me of the type of guy that he thought could thrive here at Georgia Tech and be successful and help us advance as a program. So he crossed that bridge very early for me, Ken. But it was a legitimate one that we had to talk through.
Josh, can you talk about your relationship with Blue Olson and whether you talked to him today or yesterday?
Yeah, you know what? I did not have a chance to talk to Coach. I'm very close with Coach Olson. Love him dearly, and I know he was close with Coach Kremens, and I got to know Coach Kremens really well via Coach Olson. So I didn't have a chance to talk to him today. It's been so fast, and I've literally got over 900 text messages right now, and I respond to everybody. I'm a big follow through and follow up guy. It's going to take me some time to get everyone back, but I did talk. Coach Calipari called me this morning. We talked about 45 minutes. And he was raving not only about Mike, but raving about this job and how good of the job this can be in time. And so I'll get with Coach Olson later tonight when things slow down a little bit.
All right. You want to
Sure.
do the honors here? And once we're done with that, if you guys want to head down to the court, we'll do some one-on-ones and get with you guys as a group.
Just hand you that. And there you go. Congratulations.